We've got a history between policing and black communities where policing has got a lot wrong. We get a lot more right today, but we do still make mistakes. That's not in doubt. I'm being as relentless about standards as we can be, and the vast majority of our people are good people. But that legacy, combined with the tragedy that some of this crime falls most heavily in black communities, that creates a real problem, because the legacy creates concern. Meanwhile, policing, we want to reach into the communities who are suffering most crime and make the biggest difference, because everyone deserves equal chance to thrive in London. It's not right that black boys growing up in London are more likely to be dead by the time they're 18, far more likely than white boys. I think that's shameful for the city.
And of course, didn't mention Blue Stevens at all, but as Julia Hartley-Brewer posted on this Stephen Wolfe, extraordinary that neither Sir Mark Rowley nor Trevor Phillips thought it was worth mentioning that black boys in London are largely dying at the hands of other black boys. This isn't a racism issue. It's about family breakdown, cultural issues, and weak policing. Stephen, your thoughts?
It's also about dishonest and weak policy and leadership.
Yes.
For those who are unwilling to accept basic facts. The thing about people like Mark Rowling is he honestly thinks he's a decent individual, because he says a very fine line, which is we all want people in London not to be offended or receive crimes, and that applies to black people as well as white people. Well, we all want that, quite frankly, Mark. That's really why we've appointed you to be a police officer. But what we don't want you to be is some sort of like psychological guru who pretends to ignore the facts that is around you, which is that the vast majority of crime on teenagers is done by black boys on themselves because they're involved in drugs. You don't want to deal with those issues. You actually want to legalize it in so many ways, because it's about turf territory. It's about the way that they will deal with themselves as gang to gang. It's about being bullshit with one another. And the fact that you're looking at white communities, those white communities tend not to be in the centre of London, where the vast majority of this crime is. But when it does involve a white individual, like Blue Stevens, you're going to put your head in the sands, because it just doesn't fit your narrative. And what you're most afraid of, what you really would be afraid of, is if that fact that the killer turns out to be a black knife crime boy again on a white boy, and that will create a bigger scenario for you. So once more, these individuals are terrified of the facts and the truth and the honesty, and they're terrified of that fact coming out, because then their narrative that they've built up over years would fall away very quickly.
So Emma, what hope do we have?
I mean, I think that when you look at history, you get to a tipping point that goes one way or the other, and I'm hoping it goes the way that we all want it to go in the UK, and that is not to do with your race or ethnicity or your religion on the whole. It's to do with actually having a Western set of values that are really imperative and important. I think that we do need to think about family. One of the things that I've worked with in my life is family breakdown and family dysfunction, and like it or otherwise, when you look at the statistics in London, gang crime orientated wise, we're dealing with mass self-esteem issues of young men who happen to come from a particular minority ethnicity, and that's got to be dealt with, and it's best dealt with by telling the truth and thinking about family dynamics and fathers being at home and working hard to create that situation. Unless we're going to be honest about that, then we're going to end up with young people who do die. I think that police commissioner saying about more black boys are dying than white boys, that's horrific. None of us want that. We don't want more white boys dying, do we? We want to deal with the actual problem of black young men killing black young men. That needs to be dealt with.
Exactly.
Cause problems.
Exactly. But the whole message that I took from him is that there should be shame on London. And effectively what he's saying is shame on white London too.